So guys, guess what? There's been an update about the Dangote Refinery IPO. I told you I was going to bring you every news and update concerning this IPO because I got my eyes on it. And so the Dangote Refinery Group just held a closed-door meeting with the heads of multiple African stock exchanges, and things are looking good. So for those of you who are new here, a few weeks back, I made a video informing you about the Dangote Refinery IPO and how to subscribe to the stocks when it finally launches. And guess what? That video went wild. I never anticipated the kind of reactions I got from it. It brought more questions than almost any video I've posted on this channel. Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans, South Africans, and people in the diaspora, and of course other African countries. And by the way, if you haven't watched that video, I will link it in this video description. Please go and watch it in full so you can follow this discussion. Everybody was asking the same questions. When can I buy? How do I get in? Can I buy from outside Nigeria? And how about people from and living in other African countries? But I noticed something really interesting. A lot of people that watched that video don't fully understand what an IPO is and how investing works. Some of you said you're complete beginners, and that's perfectly fine. Like I promised, I am here to bring you any meaningful money and strategy update you need this year and going forward. And I am not going anywhere because this year we are all about taking our finances serious through any legitimate means we know how. And so if by this time you're not yet subscribed to this channel, you're a suspect, because tell me why. Tell me why you are not subscribed to information like this. You don't want to make money? See, a lot is coming to this channel, including documentaries of how Africa's greatest business and investment tycoons have made it big. We'll delve into how they navigated the challenges of doing business in Africa. You would love it here. So you want to subscribe right now so you're not left behind. Well, before I give you the latest update on the Dangote IPO, let me first of all explain about IPOs for the purpose of our beginner brothers and sisters that are here. Because a lot of you are asking, what exactly is an IPO? I've seen it everywhere, but I don't know what it means. Let me explain it simply. So when a company is first formed, it's usually private. That's where you hear private limited companies, meaning only a small group of people own shares in it. The early or first subscribers, also known as investors. The founders and maybe few other acquaintances and partners. That's it. Nobody else can own or buy shares in that company. Let's, for example, you watching me, you want to start up a business and you want to register this business. So the first step you will take is to register it as a private limited company. And so for you to be able to do that in most jurisdictions, you can't do it alone because the law requires that two or more persons. So you might say, okay, let me bring in my wife, or let me bring in my children, or let me bring in my close friends. I have one or two close friends that I want to partner with to do this business. I trust them enough, and let us pool our resources together and open this company. So at that point, the company is private to just those set of people who began it, and they shoulder the responsibilities, the liabilities, the profits, anything that comes from it. So I don't want to go too far. You guys know I'm a lawyer, so I'm trying to explain this thing in the simplest form and way I can. So let's say at a certain point, the company might decide to want to raise money, or they want to grow, or the founders want to open it up to a larger group of persons and decide to go public, which is where you hear names like public limited companies. And that's why some companies or businesses have at the end of their names PLCs. That company is a public limited company, meaning that company can offer its shares to the public. But there's a lot around it, like meeting up to criteria, meeting up to the amount of money required, especially with the various stock exchanges. For Nigeria, for you to be listed in a Nigerian stock exchange, I think your company has to control up to 5 million shares and upward. So, there's a quota. It's not just automatic. It's not just a matter of registration, saying, oh, we've registered as a public limited company, therefore we can offer our shares. No. There's a lot of other things that goes under it, but let's not go too far, like I said. So let's continue. And so if this company sells its shares to the general public, that is an IPO, meaning initial public offering. This is basically the company signaling to the public We are open for business. Come and own a piece of us. And so when a company does an IPO, they are required by law to release a document called a prospectus. We are learning a lot today, right? Because we've talked about private limited companies, public limited companies, IPOs, and now we are talking about prospectus. If you knew all of this before now, comment yes, I knew. And if you're just learning these things for the first time, let me also know in the comments. I mean, you never can tell. This can be useful for some of you that are planning to open, own, and register a business tomorrow. Okay, back to prospectus. Think of a prospectus like a detailed brochure because it tells you everything. What the company does, how much money it makes, what the risks are, how many shares are being sold, and at what price. If you ever find a company doing an IPO, the prospectus is what you should be reading from front to back because it tells you the full picture before you put a single naira or dollars into it. Now that you understand the basics, let's talk about Dangote. So here is what happened. The CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange spoke publicly after a meeting that took place in Lagos between Dangote and the heads of several African stock exchanges. And what he revealed is this. So the Dangote Refinery is not just planning to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They are planning what is called a Pan-African IPO, meaning they want to list this IPO on multiple African stock exchanges at the same time. So for example, if you're in Kenya, you can buy through the Nairobi Securities Exchange. If you're in Nigeria, you can buy through the Nigerian Securities Exchange. And if you're in Ghana, you can buy through the Ghana Stock Exchange. All of these at the same time, one listing and multiple African countries. This has never happened before with a major African industrial company. Let me repeat that. It has never happened before. It will be the first in the history of this continent. And to prove they are indeed serious about this, they've already appointed advisors to run the process. People like Stanbic IBTC Capital, Vertical Advisory Services, and First Cap. These are serious financial houses, and so this is not a rumor. And the refinery we are talking about, it currently processes 650,000 barrels of crude oil every single day. Do you know what a barrel is? When I was growing up, we used to call it a drum, and it carries a total of 150 liters of fluid. So think about 160 liters times 650,000. That's the current capacity of the Dangote Refinery. But Dangote himself is not satisfied because he's looking to push it up to 1.4 million barrels per day, more than twice its current capacity. So this is what Dangote Refinery is looking to achieve with the public listing of its stock. As part of a larger expansion plan, we are talking about an estimated $40 billion investment over the next 5 years. So Dangote Refinery is looking to raise $40 to $50 billion through this IPO. This will cover for the refinery, the fertilizer production, and the downstream oil production across Africa. $50 billion. Now, the Dangote Group has already confirmed that the meeting with the exchange heads actually happened, and they've also given a timeline. They said 2 to 3 months from now, which is like June, July. So we should be looking at this IPO to come up between June and July this year. The timeline is indeed fair enough because doing a simultaneous listing across multiple African jurisdictions means you need regulators in Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Malawi, South Africa, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and of course more countries, all working in the same direction at the same time. And like we all know, this is not a small thing to achieve because this move could strengthen Africa's capital markets or expose how fragmented and uncoordinated our financial systems are. Either way, this is a test for Dangote and for Africa. So what does all of this mean for you? I mean, it means if this happens, you as ordinary Africans will have a chance to own a slice of the largest oil refinery through your local stock exchanges in your local currency. This is the promise of what is proposed here. But, and I need to say this, nothing is confirmed yet. No concrete date has been given. No price has been set. And so what I'm telling you this is so that tomorrow you don't fall into the hands of scams that will tell you to bring money, let them invest for you. Nothing as such. This thing hasn't started yet. When it does, you guys are definitely going to be the first to know because I'll be here bringing you all the news, all the steps, everything you need to do right to get in. So the question is, what should you be doing right now? And here's my answer. Number one, get familiar with your local stock exchanges. If you're in Nigeria, know how the Nigerian Stock Exchange works and go watch my previous video on this topic. I already linked it in the description. And if you're in Kenya, understand how the Nairobi Security Exchange operates. That's how you can buy. What online platforms are available for that? Same with Ghana and other African countries. Open a brokerage account if you don't have one already. Again, my last video explains how to open a brokerage account, especially for Nigerians. Some people have even messaged me saying that they have successfully opened their own brokerage account just by following that video. And so I will not be repeating those steps here. Number two, when the prospectus drops, read it. It's going to be online, and I would also share it on this channel. Read the actual document and understand the numbers. And number three, follow this channel and all my other channels across other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, because the moment there is an update, a date, a valuation, a price range, I will be breaking it down here for you in plain English. By the way, this is not just an investment story. This is a signal that Africa is beginning to take its financial future seriously, and I want you to be ready when the doors open. If this video gave you any form of value, kindly like, drop a comment below, encourage a sister, and let's make YouTube happy. Are you planning to invest if this listing actually happens? I mean, tell me, let me know. Let's have a discussion. And finally, subscribe to the THEMVNHUB and turn on notifications. Also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, same user handle, the THEMVNHUB. See you on my next one.